Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. Once again with the show You Got This. It's a show of DIY do's and don't. I'm zooming in here with Rosalie Brown and Dana Point, and I'm sitting here in Grass Valley looking out at my beautiful, beautiful yellow and red fire maple. It's kind of nice. I like this time of year.
I saw
Gorgeous.
it on Facebook. It's pretty, or maybe it was Instagram. I don't know, but I was like, wow, that is what fall looks like. If there was a photograph that spoke the word fall, that tree is it.
It's not bad. It's not a bad view for an office right now. We've converted the guest room into our office, so it's kind of nice in this day of COVID. So we have a home office now. Woo!
Well, I'm glad you do, because I'm just gonna tell on myself. So this is my second situation with Andrew today. How lucky am I? Like twice in one day. So to be efficient, we are recording a couple of shows because the holiday is approaching. And so then when I went to save the files, they saved over the others. So Andrew was kind enough to say, hey, you big dummy, I have some extra time. We can re-record that. So this
I did not say big dummy.
No, you were very
and
nice.
It's kind of like, I mean, who would have thunk in this day and age that we would record over like the videotape kind of thing? I mean, that's where, or that coveted mixtape that somebody gave you accidentally record something else. It's sort of the same thing, right?
Yeah, and I was actually yeah. So the big dummy was my edit, because I was saying that to myself when I figured out what it was. But I was like, well, worst case scenario, he's gonna say, okay, how about tomorrow? Or, oh, well. And, that's the one thing about you that's always even Steven. Like, something happens, you're like, meh, like, I've seen enough stuff. Nothing, like that's not really an emergency. So I do appreciate that. And I've had more caffeine now. So this show might be a little more lively in the end anyway. So
I have to confess, I did not have caffeine. I actually took a little nap in between.
So I'm going to be expecting big things from you. Yeah. Big.
It was a short nap, so it was only, I do like I try to get like I'm at that age where a 20-minute nap really helps. It's kind of nice. It rejuvenates me. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of a chill day, so yeah.
That's a slippery slope, though. Be careful, because that's why I don't allow myself to have naps, because I'm like, 20 minutes doesn't seem like enough. So of course, next thing you know, it's like 3 hours have gone by, and I'm like, what day is it? What am I late for?
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I have a tape. I set an alarm. I got it dialed. So I don't oversleep, because if I go like 45 minutes, I'm done for the rest of the day. I'm comatose. So yeah.
So what you're saying is that while other people were learning to bake sourdough bread in this pandemic, you were learning how to perfect the
power nap.
Yeah, like wow, like you knocked it out of the park. And you didn't bake any bread, but you figured out how good naps are. All right.
Yeah, and I stole it from Betty, because she cannot nap any longer since I've been napping. For some reason, she can't nap any longer, so she's a little upset with me about that.
Well, I think
not really, but
okay. Yeah. So knowing you like I do, and we joked about this. I don't know if it was on the show that got recorded over or the show that you'll hear, but we were joking about how you have a team of people that kind of keep you where you need to be. And so the way I envision Betty is that she can't sleep if you're napping, because one of you has to be like steering the ship, right? So she's got to take over. She's just on duty is what happens.
She's always on duty.
Yeah,
she's always on duty. She doesn't sleep with earplugs because she's on duty. I'm like, honey, our daughter's turning 22 on Sunday, our youngest, and our oldest is 24. Not even living in the United States right now. It's like, we can't really do much, and the 22-year-old lives in San Francisco, so it's not like we can get anywhere really fast. So it can wait a little bit. You can wear earplugs, but no.
I know the pain. Yeah, I know the pain.
This won't go away.
I've got to keep an ear open too, because you don't know what text or call, or in my case, there could be a dog heaving, like letting me know he has to go outside. So I'm always like, in fact, I woke up to that last night. It was like, I don't know. I was like, dead sleep, and all of a sudden, oh no, like it takes a second to register and then you know what it is. And then
Right.
you're trying to shove him because he's
Yeah.
fairly intensive
Yeah.
size. Like you're sleepy, you're groggy, you're trying not to trip over things, and you're trying to steer him out onto the outside. And so then, people will like, oh, I just sleep. I'm like, I don't know. It all fell
No,
apart
it
about three
reminds me of
o'clock.
that. There's that meme, right? With what would be the best alarm? Be the sound of a dog starting to throw up because you're out. You're out of the bed. There's
That's
no
my
messing
alarm.
around. You're up. Yeah.
That's my alarm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my karmic debt in life. And
Yeah.
apparently at some point before I came here, I did some really weird stuff because now that is literally what I'm always listening for.
Yeah. That's fun. Dogs, kids. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, it's our my wife's and I 25th wedding anniversary. I didn't mention that on the last time, so I'm gonna mention it this time because I kind of, not that I forgot. It's just like, yeah, should I mention that? Yeah. Yeah. So we've been married for 25 years and together for 33. Yeah, 33 years. Yeah,
Wow.
long
Wow.
time. Yeah.
Good.
We
Congratulations.
were we were little youngsters. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I actually was like, we recorded and got off, and then I was on one of the 5,000 social media platforms, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, look at that sweet picture,
Serious.
and look at his little sweet anniversary message, and I was like, hey. So then when I called you, I was like, happy anniversary, because like it seems like a big one. I mean, 25.
It's silver. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
silver
so
anniversary. So
if it hadn't been for the pandemic, you likely would have, maybe done a little trip or done something special, but it's a little
yeah.
different this year. Yeah.
Yeah. We would have been home by now, but yeah, there was a European trip that we were going to be on in October, but yeah, that didn't happen. And it was our 25th. So yeah, we were going to make a big deal of it. But yes, we're going camping. So we're taking the RV out this weekend and going down to the San Mateo coast. So yeah, that'll be
It's
fun.
it's something. It's not Europe. It's not Europe,
No, and
but
it's still travel, and it's, it's social distancing. We're not staying in hotels. We're not going over to restaurants or anything, but just take out and eat in the RV, and then we're going to go up to Pacifica and take the daughter out for a little lunch and picnic kind of thing for her 22nd, and come home. Yeah, be good.
that's not a bad weekend. If you let's pretend that you were home though, because the holiday was coming, and let's just say that you had let's pretend that social distancing wasn't an issue and you were going to have people in your house. If you are like most people, you would be running around with, either your wife would create the list or you'd have a list that would be all the little things you should get done before you have company, right?
Yes.
So if you were going to do that, Andrew, what are some things you'd look at?
Nice segue. So you happen to give me this nice little list. So let's run with it. I'm not going to start with number one because that one's a little bigger. Let's jump to number two, the deep clean. Doing a deep clean on your house. We talked about this a while back about how my wife and I have kind of the illusion of clean in our house. All the surfaces are clean, decluttered. The floors are clean. The bathrooms are clean. But there's little nooks and crannies that don't always, we're not getting the toothbrushes out and stuff and cleaning up the fine stuff. So having that person come in and do a deep clean on your house every once in a while, we try to do it like, monthly. Sometimes it takes a little longer now, sometimes a couple months, but man, it makes a big difference in our lives. And it makes it, we joked about this, about the fact that we started doing this in our 20s because we realized a lot of our arguments were about the house being dirty, and it was cheaper to have a house cleaner on a weekly basis than it was to go to therapy, couples therapy. So yeah, money well spent. Money well spent.
If you think about it, like what you're talking about here today, young sir, could save relationships. I mean, you are a beacon of marital, the opposite of discord. What is that? Accord. So
Accord, yeah. 25 years married and 33 years together, and I have to say, well, therapy helped, but also, yeah, the house cleaner helped a lot because I came from a very messy household. So yeah, my parents were kind of hoarders. So yeah, it's a different whole reality for me. So anyway, yeah, get the house deep cleaned unless that's your thing. I mean, I have plenty of friends that's their thing, so they do the deep cleaning, but that's not our thing. So yeah, look into hiring it, and it's surprisingly, it's not as extravagant as a lot of people think. You can get it done for 100, $200, for deep clean, probably $200 because it's going to take them 4 to 6 hours, or longer, depending on how big the house is. Anyway, number 3, get the chimney inspected. This is something that we talked that I've talked about a lot, about like having your furnace inspected by somebody that actually knows what they're doing. I know how to install a gas fireplace. I know how to install a wood fireplace. I know how to do all that stuff. I still got a professional out to clean the chimney and inspect it to make sure it was working correctly. When you have somebody that does that on a daily basis, when they're doing 2 to 5 calls a day on the same type of product or same type of issues, it's amazing what what you can find when you do it that often. So hire somebody to come out and do that on a yearly basis. If you use wood to heat, which a lot of us do up here in Nevada County. This is the first house that I've lived in since moving to Nevada County that we don't have a wood stove, but we have natural gas, so it's cheap. So if you do have a wood stove, definitely look into getting it swept and having it inspected, making sure it doesn't have any cracks, making sure the flue is working correctly, making sure the bonnet and the spark arrestor is in place, making sure that all the clearances are correct, and making sure there's enough makeup air. All those things are really important. When you burn things, you have not just smoke, but you can have carbon monoxide. So, a clogged furnace or a clogged chimney can actually asphyxiate you more than with carbon monoxide, more than the smoke. So definitely have it checked out. Number 4 on this list is fix any broken appliances. You had that great story about your friend and this beautiful Samsung $6,000 refrigerator or something.
I do have to mention this because I'm not someone that is real. I don't have appliance envy. I'm not really like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love a nice kitchen and all that, but I'm not one to like, that's not my thing. Well, I lied. Maybe it is because my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in Michigan, they had this gorgeous, like, amazing Samsung refrigerator. It was like the crown jewel of the entire kitchen and maybe even the house. Like, they loved it. I loved it. Beautiful. So it quits working. It's only a year old, maybe. And it was a big, big, big ordeal to deal with getting people to come out and like they can't, so a big box store or like Samsung will contract people to come and repair a part of it. There was issues with that part of it. There was issues with getting them to come and take it away and then bring a new one in. So my point is the story was better when you lived it than what I'm telling now. But the point is it went out Memorial Day weekend, and I think it was the end of summer by the time they had their actual replacement. So those warranty things are great, but if something, if you're in that jam, you might not get your replacement as soon as you think you will. So I'm a big fan of keeping those like $100 or $50 like really ugly avocado colored like backup in the garage, because you never know when your backup fridge is going to have to be your full-time fridge.
Yeah, and it's true, and it's things have gotten more sophisticated. Appliances have little computers in them, so there's a lot more that can go wrong with them. The other issue is, when a company hires a contractor to do warranty work, they typically don't pay very well because their job is to save money and to make their shareholders happy. So you're not necessarily getting the best service from a warranty company. And that goes from appliance repairs to plumbing to household repairs, because they don't really want to spend much money, which is, that's their business model. It works. So if you can avoid it, if you can have somebody come out and hire somebody, we've got some great appliance repair people up in our area, and we've got a couple that we recommend. And if you need an appliance repair person, definitely give us a ring, and we can recommend them. They will do a good job. The warranty guys. So yeah, it's not a bad idea to have a backup. But the little things, like the refrigerator that's the ice maker that doesn't work, or maybe you've got an ice dispenser that doesn't work, or maybe you've got one of the burners on the stove, it's kind of flickering and not working properly. You can get those things fixed relatively inexpensively. It's kind of surprising, you know, compared to replacing them. If it is that 25, 30-year-old appliance, you may want to think twice about it, because generally speaking, they're not worth much, and investing a lot of money into it, you know, hundreds of dollars into something that's probably going to cost you money to have somebody take it away, probably not a great investment, unless it's an antique, and or if you've got some emotional tie to it, then yeah, by all means get it fixed. But think about that. Number 5, another thing to consider when you're getting your house ready for guests, and just something that's just an annual thing. If you've got a kitchen countertop, you want to, well, let's back it up. If you've got a natural stone type of countertop, whether it's granite, marble, slate, something of that nature, you want to seal that thing. You want to seal it on a yearly basis. Even tile, you want to seal on a yearly basis. These materials are porous, and they will absorb anything that spills on them. So, you know, heaven forbid you spill that red wine on your Carrara marble countertop and you didn't seal it, because that red wine is going to permeate into the surface, and you're not getting it out. It's going to permeate into that grout, and you're probably not going to get out. Grout's a little easier to repair, but you're literally digging it out and replacing it. So think about, you know, get it sealed. Don't get it sealed. You can do this yourself. You can go to any appliance store or any hardware store and get natural stone sealers. We had a granite counter in our last house, our last house, and I would seal that at least yearly. And then if you've got wood, for sure, take care of it. We've got a natural wood block bar on the kitchen, and we seal that probably every quarter or something like that with a natural oil type of sealer to keep that from getting spots and damaged. But it's a relatively easy thing to do, and you can just follow the instructions. Takes about an hour. Some of them are pretty stinky, so you might have to open the windows. So something you might want to think about doing in the springtime, or actually you don't necessarily have to think about doing it in the springtime, because this is Nevada County. It's going to be 65 degrees pretty soon, one of these days. Don't know when, but it always seems to happen there in the fall, right? And early winter, we get that 65-degree a day. So you can open up the house and do it then. But definitely seal that tile, that countertop. It's going to save you a whole bunch of headaches down the line. This is another one that we make a lot of money from people doing this. So I'm going to give you some tips, but invest in a programmable thermostat. A programmable thermostat will save you a lot of money in the long run, because you can set it for periods of time to come on when you're home and to go off when you're not. So if you've got any kind of schedule at all, they work great. I don't have a schedule in our house, so I programmed it, and my wife didn't like it because I had it set to turn down while she was home, and she was kind of upset about that. So not a good thing. But you can get a Wi-Fi stat, which we've also got, which I love. So I can wake up when I wake up in the morning at 6:30, I push my thermostat on my phone. I turn it up to 72, and it heats the house up. And when I get out of bed, it's nice and warm. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
72. Are you crazy? This is funny though, because so same brother-in-law, sister-in-law with the fridge, they have a thermostat that is hooked up to the Wi-Fi, you know, on Dad's phone. And so so he works out in Battle Creek, which is like a pretty big trip. And so my nephew would be, you know, home sleeping, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning, and he would get up and mess with thermostat. Well, Dad's phone would get an alert. So Dad on his phone would be like, do, and then like lock it. And so I would watch them post their little snippets on Facebook, like, nice try, Dad. You know? Yeah. And I was just like, that is brilliant. Like, because Dad he wasn't paying extra just because, you know, son was home sleeping. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah. They're nice. And then, you know, if you forget to turn the thermostat down when you go on vacation, you can do it remotely. And when you're on your way back home, you can turn the house up so it's nice and warm when you get home. You can do it from the car. One thing though, I do want to say, it is one of the things, it is a DIY thing. You can do it yourself. The reason I say we make a lot of money on these is because a lot of people forget to turn the furnace off, to unplug it, switch it off, or turn it off at the breaker. And what happens is they'll short out the power to ground and fry the transformer inside their furnace, which is a couple $100 repair. So make sure, if you are going to do this, make sure you turn off the power to your furnace. There's a lot of computer stuff in there also that can get damaged. So usually the transformer blows, but make sure you turn it off, whether it's plugged in, just unplug it. Most of them should have either a plug or a switch. You can do it at the unit or at the breaker if you can't find it, or if it's up in the attic and it's difficult to get to, just turn it off at the breaker. But definitely turn the power off before you do it. And then follow the instructions. Don't do as I would do and just dive into it without reading them first and then realizing that I don't know what I'm doing and having to read them later. Do it beforehand. So definitely read the instructions on how to do it. I love my Wi-Fi thermostat. I know a lot of people hate them. We've got one in the office as well, which is great. So you know, if somebody forgets to turn the thermostat down, they can get it. They can turn it down when they're gone, or you know, especially during the summertime. My office staff, they like to keep it cold in there, and they get it down to, gosh, like I think they had it at 65 this summer. When it was, yeah, I mean, they like it cold, so. Don't want to leave that on during the weekend, because that's some money right there. So anyway, those are great ones. And then yeah, let's go with that last one. Then we got time for one more. So yeah, number one was upgrade your insulation. Most of the homes in Nevada County are old and they don't necessarily have great insulation in the attic. It's one of those things that you can get the best bang for your buck. It's one of the best investments for energy savings. You can save hundreds of dollars a month by insulating properly, especially in some of these houses that have, you know, maybe no insulation, which I've seen plenty around up here. Some of these old miner cabins and things that have no insulation, you can save a ton of money. Even if you've got, you know, just one layer of insulation, putting another layer of insulation in the attic, you can save some money. You'll get a much better bang for your buck with doing that than you would with replacing your windows. Much faster payback. A lot of people, you know, if you've got a decent sized home, you could be spending $400 or $500 a month on your PG&E bill. So if you can cut that in half, wow, you can pay for insulating your house within a year or two. So it's a quick return. So it's one of those things to really think about. And then we're in winter, so you've probably already gone around and weather strip the windows and caulk the windows. I know I have. Check all that weather stripping. But if you haven't, you know, do it now. Take it a little bit, get rid of those drafts. Also, you know, living in Nevada County keeps the bugs out. You know, if you got those open cracks, that's why those little house centipedes, those little scary guys with all the different legs, that's how they can get in. Yeah, they'll get in. Or the little, you know, we've got scorpions up here. Little scorpions can climb in. Or the wolf spiders. Those guys are pretty gnarly looking. So, or little tarantulas.
Really delightful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you so
welcome. Yeah. So yeah, seal those little seal the bottom of your doors and the windowsills, and yeah. And with that, that's our list. We did it.
And we
redid it.
We did redo it. But we should mention, since we think we're going to be on before Thanksgiving, that we hope that everyone has a safe holiday.
Yes.
And ABT, in the event of a plumbing emergency, especially, which are prone to happen, is open for service and there for emergency calls for sure. And you can reach ABT at 530-272-9120, 530-272-9120. Also, we're on the web. That's not the place to make an appointment, but we are on the web, and that's easyasabt.com.
And you can find this show on Facebook and also ABT on Facebook. And please check it out. We've got a lot of great content there. And do sign up for our newsletter. We've got a monthly newsletter that goes out every month. And Rosalie writes it, and we've got some really good content in there and coupons and things. And it's just a one-pager. So definitely take advantage of that. And with that, have a happy Thanksgiving and catch you guys next week. Bye.